Hi there, welcome to Tech Center. This is Joshua and I'm going to make a 5-part series where I'll show you how to make a 2D zombie survival game in Python. After posting all 5 videos, I'll combine all 5 videos and post it as a single long video. In this video, I am using Python 3.8.3. I have posted a video showing you how to install Python 3.8.3. This video is the 5th and last part of the series, and today I'll be showing you how to create the home screen and finish the game. I'll put the links to the other parts in the comments section below the video when they are released. Before we jump into the video, please subscribe and click the notification bell to receive future videos from my channel. If you haven't already watched the 4th part of the series, I have put a link in the description box below so you can watch the video. If you have any questions or comments about this video, please contact me via email on 4techcenter@gmail.com. First of all, let's open Python from the Windows Programs list. Click Start, scroll down to Python 3.8 folder, click on Python 3.8, and then click on Idle Python 3.8. Once the shell is open, click on File, and then click on Open. We're going to open the file that we saved in the previous videos. I saved my file in the default folder, which is this folder here. Once you find your file, click on it, and then click on Open. Once your file is open, close the shell, and maximize the Python programming window. Now let's scroll down to where we left off, which is at the bottom. Step 12. Creating the home screen procedure. Def space home capital S screen, open brackets, widgets, comma space endless capital H high score, close brackets, colon, enter, clear capital W widgets, open brackets, widgets, close brackets, enter, enter. Now that we've cleared any widgets, we're going to write the title capital O outline, space equals space canvas dot create underscore text, open brackets, 0, comma space minus 200, comma space text, space equals space, open quotation marks, close quotation marks, comma space. Now you may be wondering why I left the text as blank. This is because I'm going to update the text one letter at a time, and I'm going to display it. Space fill, space equals space, open quotation marks, white, close quotation marks, comma space font, space equals space, open brackets, open quotation marks, Courier, close quotation marks, comma space 55, comma space, open quotation marks, bold, close quotation marks, close brackets, comma space anchor, space equals space, open quotation marks, center, close quotation marks, close brackets, enter. Now we're going to do the same but with a variable called title text, because the first variable was for the outline of the text. Let's do that. Title capital T text, space equals space canvas dot create underscore text, open brackets, 0, comma space minus 200, comma space text, space equals space, open quotation marks, close quotation marks, comma space fill, space equals space, open quotation marks, dark, space grey. Make sure grey is spelt with an A and not an E. Close quotation marks, comma space font, space equals space, open brackets, open quotation marks, Courier, close quotation marks, comma space 55, comma space, open quotation marks, normal, close quotation marks, close brackets, comma space anchor, space equals space, open quotation marks, center, close quotation marks, close brackets, enter. Now we're actually going to set the variable of the title, and we're going to actually put a string inside of it. Let's do that. Title space equals space open quotation marks, and then we write the title. I'm going to call the game Infection, close quotation marks, enter. Delay space equals space 0, enter. So we're creating a delay for when we update the text. Delta space equals space 400, enter, enter. So the delta is a constant value of time, which is the gap between each letter. It will make more sense later on. For space loop space in space range open brackets len open brackets title close brackets space plus space 1 close brackets colon enter string space equals space title open square brackets 0 colon loop close square brackets enter. So what we've done here is we've created the string. So the string is different. Each loop is going to be adding one letter and is going to display that text. Now let's update the outline of the text and the text. We're going to do those separately. Update capital O outline space equals space lambda space string space equals space string colon canvas dot item configure. Make sure item configure is a single word. Open brackets title capital O outline comma space text space equals space string close brackets enter. Update capital T text space equals space lambda space string space equals space string colon canvas dot item configure open brackets title text. Make sure title text has a capital T comma space text space equals space string close brackets enter. Now when I said that we were going to update the text and the outline, I've only assigned it to a variable. Now I've actually got to carry it out. I'm going to do this using the onTimer method. wn.onTimer open brackets update capital O outline comma space delay close brackets. So what it says here is it will update the outline after the delay. Currently it's 0, but it's going to increase after each loop, which is going to be in this loop. So let's do that. Enter wn.onTimer open brackets update capital T text comma space delay close brackets. Again, we're updating the text after the delay. Now let's increase the delay each loop. Enter. Now, as well as increasing the delay, we're also going to increase the delta by 75. That means it's going to increase by 0.075 seconds. It just adds the effect of each letter coming out even slower than before. So let's do that. Delta space plus equals space 75. Enter. Delay space plus equals space delta. Enter, enter, backspace. That's 2 enters and 1 backspace. Instructions. Space equals space canvas dot create underscore text open brackets 0 comma space minus 100 comma space text space equals space open quotation marks space 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 space. That's 8 spaces. Use the up arrow key to move and \n. We're doing \n to create a new line. use the left and right arrow keys, space to turn around, close quotation marks, comma, space, fill, space equals space, open quotation marks, white, close quotation marks, comma, space, font, space equals space, open brackets, open quotation marks, courier, close quotation marks, comma, space, 17, comma, space, open quotation marks, bold, close quotation marks, close brackets, comma, space, anchor, space equals space, open quotation marks, center, close quotation marks, close brackets, enter. Now that we've created the instructions, let's move on to the buttons, which were Fright Night button and the Endless button. Let's create it. Fright, capital N Night, capital B button. Make sure it's a single word. Space equals space, capital B button, open brackets, canvas dot master, comma, space, text, space equals space, open quotation marks, backslash capital N. We did a backslash capital N to insert a Unicode character that is not on the keyboard. Now we're going to insert the crescent moon symbol, or emoji if you like. Open curly brackets, crescent, space, moon, close curly brackets, backslash N. This backslash N was to create a new line. Make sure it's not a capital N, but it's a small n. It's a lowercase n. Capital F Fright Night. Close quotation marks, comma, space, font, space equals space, open brackets, open quotation marks, courier, close quotation marks, comma, space, 17, comma, space, open quotation marks, bold, close quotation marks, close brackets, comma, space, BG, space equals space, open quotation marks, white, close quotation marks, comma, space, FG, space equals space, open quotation marks, grey. Make sure grey is spelled with an A and not an E. Close quotation marks, comma, space, command, space equals space, lambda, colon, space, game, open brackets, widgets, comma, space, open quotation marks, Fright Night. Make sure it's all lowercase letters and there's a space in between Fright Night. Close quotation marks, comma, space, 0, close brackets, comma, space, relief, space equals space, open quotation marks, ridge, close quotation marks, close brackets, enter. Now let's create the endless game mode button. Endless, capital B button, space equals space, capital B button, open brackets, canvas dot master, comma, space, text, space equals space, open quotation marks, backslash capital N, open curly brackets, infinity, close curly brackets, backslash N, make sure this is a lowercase n, capital E endless, close quotation marks, comma, space, font, space equals space, open brackets, open quotation marks, courier, close quotation marks, comma, space, 17, comma, space, open quotation marks, bold, close quotation marks, close brackets, comma, space, BG, space equals space, open quotation marks, white, close quotation marks, comma, space, FG, space equals space, open quotation marks, grey, make sure grey has an A, not an E, close quotation marks, comma, space, command, space equals space, lambda, colon, space, game, open brackets, widgets, comma, space, open quotation marks, endless, close quotation marks, comma, space, endless, capital H high score, make sure endless high score is a single word, close brackets, comma, space, relief, space equals space, open quotation marks, ridge, close quotation marks, close brackets, enter, enter. Now we've created the buttons, let's place them on the screen. Write capital N night, capital B button, make sure it's a single word, dot place, open brackets, x space equals space 190, comma space y space equals space 300, comma space width, space equals space 190, comma space height, space equals space 75, close brackets, enter, endless capital B button, dot place, open brackets, x space equals space 420, comma space y space equals space 300, comma space width, space equals space 190, comma space height, space equals space 75, close brackets, enter, enter. Now we've created the buttons, let's create the brief descriptions about the game modes below. Description, space equals space, canvas, dot create, underscore text, open brackets, 0, comma space 220, comma space text, space equals space, open quotation marks, Fright Night, colon, space, you are exploring the graveyard during the night. Full stop, backslash n, space space space, space space space, space space space, space space space, space space. That's 14 spaces. Run from the enemies until 5 AM. Full stop, backslash n, backslash n. We did 2 backslash n's because we need 2 new lines. And now on the second line, which is 1 line gap in between, we type the rest of it. Space, 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 space. That's 5 spaces. Endless, colon space, the graveyard has been cursed with eternal darkness. Full stop, backslash n, space space space, space space space, space space space, space space space, space space. That's 14 spaces. Survive as long as you can. Full stop, close quotation marks, comma space, fill, space equals space, open quotation marks, white, close quotation marks, comma space, font, space equals space, open brackets, open quotation marks, courier, close quotation marks, comma space, 13, comma space, open quotation marks, bold, close quotation marks, close brackets, comma space, anchor, space equals space, open quotation marks, center, close quotation marks, close brackets, enter, enter. That's 2 enters. Now that we've created all the widgets, let's add them to the widgets list. Widgets, dot append, open brackets, title capital T text, close brackets, enter, widgets, dot append, open brackets, title capital O outline, close brackets, enter, widgets, dot append, open brackets, instructions, close brackets, enter, widgets, dot append, open brackets, fright, capital N night, capital B button, close brackets, enter, widgets, dot append, open brackets, endless, capital B button, close brackets, enter, widgets dot append open brackets description close brackets, enter, enter, backspace. That's 2 enters and 1 backspace. Step 13. Calling the home screen procedure. In this step, we're only going to need one line of code, and that's to call the procedure that we just created. Home capital S screen, open brackets, widgets, comma space 0, close brackets, enter, enter. So what we've done here is we've set the high score to 0. This happens every time we start to run the program. Step 14. Keeping the game window open. To keep the game window open, we have to type the name of the screen. I called it WN at the very start. WN.mainLoop. Open brackets, close brackets, enter. Now we could leave this program like it is right now and it would work perfectly. But then there would be errors that pop up in the shell. And we just want to hide them. So let's hide them. Step 15. Hiding error messages. To hide the error messages, we're going to go back up to the top, go to the very start, go back to step 1, press enter, enter. That was 2 enters, and then type try, colon. Then if we go back down to the bottom, now we're going to type except, colon, enter, pass. So what this does is if there is any error when we close the program or during the program, it will not show it on the shell. Instead, it will do nothing. Now currently, this program is not indented, so it's not currently inside the try structure. So to put it inside the try structure, we're going to have to indent it. So let's select all of the code. Once you've selected all of the code in between the except and the try at the very top, to select the code, you had to click and drag on the text. That's how I selected all of this text. Now that I've selected this text, I'm going to go to Format at the very top here, click on it, and then click on Indent Region. Once we did that, you can see that everything inside the try except structure has been indented. Now I'm going to deselect the code by clicking outside of the selection. Now there is one more place that I would like to add the try except structure, and that's inside the game procedure, and that includes the main loop as well. So let's do that. Let's go to the game procedure. Now I've found the game procedure, but you may have not found it. So to help you find it, I'm going to show you the line numbers that I found it on. To show the line numbers, click on Options, then click on Show Line Numbers. As you can see, when we click that, the line numbers are visible here. For me, the game procedure is at line 85. If you copied my code exactly, it should be at line 85. If not, it should be somewhere around there. Once you find it, go to the end of the line and then press enter, then type try, colon, scroll down to the end, and by that I mean to the end of the main loop. I'll tell you which line that is. For me, that line is 286. So go to the end of line 286, press enter, backspace, 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 backspace. That's 1 enter and 5 backspaces. Type accept, colon, enter, pass. Now before we save this file, we have to indent the code in the game procedure. So let's go to the top where the game procedure is. For me that was line 85. So we're going to select everything from line 87. So if you did not completely copy my code and you added a few more lines, then it should be somewhere around line 87. But it should say clear widgets, open brackets, widgets, close brackets. So from that line, select by clicking and dragging, and scroll all the way down. Click and hold and drag down to select. Once you've selected everything inside the game procedure, for me that is between line 87 and line 286. Now let's go to Format and then click on Indent Region. Now that we've indented the region, let's scroll down and let's click off the selection to deselect it. Now that we've finished the code, let's save the file. Click on File and then on Save. Now that the file is saved, let's run the program. Click on Run and then click on Run Module. As you can see, here's the home screen. Now if I select Fright Night, as you can see the enemy spawns. I can move with the up arrow, and I can move left with the left arrow. I can move right with the right arrow. And if I touch the graves, I'll turn 180 degrees, as you can see. Once I got caught, now let's go back to the home screen. Now let's check out endless game mode. As you can see, the player is the black triangle and the enemy is the green circle. There will be 4 green circle enemies and there will also be 2 white triangle enemies. But the enemies will be different colours from the player. The player is black, the enemies are green and white. Now if I get caught by the enemies, you can see that there is a game over screen, and again my final score or my final time will be displayed. Now if I go to the home screen and I click on endless game mode again, you can see that my high score was saved. Let's go back to the home screen. Now let's close this window and let's close the shell. Now let's close the Python programming window. In my next video, I'll post a single long video showing you how to program the 2D zombie survival game in Python. I hope that this video is helpful for you. If you like this video, please smash that like button and share it with your friends and family. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please click the red subscribe button below. If you have any questions or comments about this video, or if you'd like to get links for all of my previous videos, please contact me via email at fulltechcenter@gmail.com. I've put a link in the description box below. See you in the next video.